He's not a married guy. He's Dean, my Dean.
He's not your Dean. He's Lindsay's Dean. You're the other woman.
This, in my opinion, is one of Gilmore Girls' most gut-wrenching scenes. But let's take a step back. When we think Gilmore Girls, we think cozy. Coffee-fueled talks, autumn walks, and that warm, witty banter that just feels like home. It's the kind of show many of us return to when we need comfort. So why does this scene feel like a knife to the heart? This is Marginalia, where we read the stories between the lines. Let's get into why the Messy Rory moment works. Spoilers ahead for Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls was a comedy drama that ran from 2000 to 2006. It followed Lorelai and Rory Gilmore, a duo who were best friends first and mother and daughter second. Many of us loved watching their adventures as we grew up, whether it was gabbing at Luke's diner, navigating work and school, or being there for one another when things became too hard to handle. With the show celebrating its 25th anniversary, I've been thinking about it more than usual. And it made me wonder why such a cozy show could have such hard-hitting moments of drama and struggle. And I believe this scene is the answer. So, what exactly happens in this scene? Lorelai drops by the house in the middle of the Dragonfly Inn's test run night, only to find Rory and Dean, Rory's currently married ex-boyfriend. Something is immediately off. It doesn't take much for Lorelai to put two and two together. Rory, her daughter whom she has only ever seen the good in, has done the unthinkable. Once Dean is gone, Lorelai has the hard task of making Rory face the truth of the matter. Rory, who has always been on the same page as Lorelai, for once is not. Rather, she digs a hole for herself further, trying everything in her power to justify what happened. Lorelai won't have it, and Rory won't face it. And for the first time, the two are truly at odds. It's not only a blow for Lorelai and Rory, but for us too. This is one of the rare occasions in the early seasons where Lorelai and Rory aren't able to resolve their differences in a single episode. But something makes it hurt even harder than other scenes. This isn't, for instance, the first time we've seen less than desirable actions from either. Lorelai, as Rory herself mentions, slept with Chris while he was still engaged to Sherry. And Rory had previously strung Dean along, all while growing more endeared to Jess. But why does this scene feel especially dreadful? Why does it feel like something inside their bond, and ours with them, has broken? The Messy Rory scene works because it is a culmination of Gilmore Girls' two key ingredients: love, the unbreakable and comforting bond between the characters, and pain, the unresolved, delicate, and deep conflicts that have yet to be addressed. Even if Gilmore Girls feels like a casual show, everything about the interactions is interwoven with different amounts of love and pain, which in turn leads to interesting and unique dynamics. Luke and Lorelai's bond includes deep friendship and love, but the pain of their past romances makes them hesitate to risk it all by confessing to one another. Rory struggled to fully express her love to Dean when she first dated him, and this is because she's never been exposed to a healthy romantic relationship, let alone when she was only seeing Lorelai's inconsistent dating life. The most prominent example of this is Lorelai's relationship with her mother Emily. Because of their history and the many feelings they've left unresolved, every single interaction is emotionally charged. You could even liken it to a foil to what Lorelai and Rory initially have. If Lorelai and Rory are primarily a bond strengthened by love, Emily and Lorelai are a bond weighed down and easily broken by pain. We expect fights from the two of them, stinging one-liners, hurtful accusations, and misunderstandings. It's hurtful, yes, but at the very least it's expected. So what happens when a bond like Lorelai's and Rory's is put to the ultimate test? What happens when the love that's helped them persevere through their own individual pains takes a sideline and fractures what they have? You get the Messy Rory scene. Now that we understand the love and pain dynamic of the show, we can properly examine why this climax in Lorelai and Rory's bond hits us so hard. What's important to note is that Lorelai and Rory's relationship transforms because of this very scene, and we can break it into three main segments: love, pain, and fracture. Let's start with love. Love is Lorelai and Rory's status quo. While the show presents love and pain in different amounts for different characters, love dominates Lorelai and Rory's bond. It's basically their entire language. They make jokes, they can confide in one another, debate on topics, tease each other, but more importantly, they can trust each other to have the other's best interests. It's explicitly a healthy dynamic because they don't let certain barriers, like the fact that they're mother and daughter, stop them from being on one another's level. We go into the Messy Rory scene with this default dynamic in mind. It's what comforts us and keeps us going throughout the show after all, and the moment we enter the scene, we can already tell that might not always be the case. Even as Lorelai is going around excitedly talking about Kirk, the lack of music and the lack of response from Rory is off-putting. It tells us that something is starting to shift. And then we're hit with the next part. A wave of shock immediately tells us that an undeniable truth is being pieced together, that Rory has done something Lorelai cannot abide by. And that transition causes love to go towards pain. Pain is something Lorelai and Rory have supported one another on. When Lorelai struggles with Emily or the inn, Rory is the one who is there for her. When Rory can't fit in at school or can't tell what to do with her love life, Lorelai constantly soothes her. So what happens when they become each other's source of pain? Lorelai's pain comes in the form of seeing a different side of Rory.
He took the ring off.
Oh my god, I don't believe this.
Rory, whom she's always seen the best light of. Rory, whom she has upheld as a logical and sweet girl who's unable to do anything wrong.
You of all people, the girl who thinks everything through, the list maker,
has become the mistress in a relationship. It's pain that makes Lorelai fear that Rory will commit her past mistakes of hurting in a relationship. It's pain from the fact that Lorelai can't protect Rory from the consequences of her actions, nor that she was able to stop her in time. Then there's Rory. For Rory, it's a matter of facing reality itself. Lorelai, whether she intends to or not, often protects Rory from the tougher truths of the world. Be it defending her from the harsh Chilton curriculum, or Rory's conflict after kissing Tristan and not confronting Dean, or her financial problems. But now Lorelai is the one who has to bring Rory to reality, who has to wake Rory up from seeing this soft, intimate moment with a man she once loved as what it really is, an illicit affair. The scene is an unwelcome wake-up call for the both of them. Rory is not always going to listen to Lorelai or make good decisions. Lorelai isn't always going to be on Rory's side when she makes bad decisions. It's gut-wrenching because the one comfort they had, which had been the other person, was now forcing them to deal with a reality they hoped would never come to fruition. Just like how the show had been our source of comfort so far, we are pained by how the one thing that brought us relief is now a source of incredible tension. And even worse, it's something that's not resolved right away. It's something instead that will change the relationship entirely. The Messy Rory scene does more than cause drama. It doesn't strain Lorelai and Rory's relationship, it breaks it. It's not just because Rory and Lorelai cause each other pain, but it forces them to reflect on the relationship they did have. Even if we love Lorelai and Rory's bond, we, just like the characters, are forced to examine its flaws. Lorelai and Rory have always seen the best in each other, true, but it failed to prepare them for when the worst things happen. They've been in such harmony, such peace, that they never had to properly handle conflicts completely alone, especially if it's because of the other. After the Messy Rory scene, Lorelai and Rory are forced to go their own ways. We see this physically when Rory goes with Emily on a trip to Europe, and interestingly enough, the past seasons have been building up to this. Lorelai and Rory have been gradually pulled in different directions. We see this when Rory chooses to go to Yale instead of Harvard. We see this as Lorelai loses the Independence Inn and starts making the Dragonfly Inn. And it's setting up how they're going towards very different futures. Futures that will probably not include the other. As they grow, their wants and values begin to clash, and we see this with the Messy Rory scene. The scene and its aftermath leave us with this heavy-hitting reality that things are never going to be the same for them, or us viewers. But, as painful as it can be, even the most hurtful things can heal. Lorelai and Rory may have hurt each other and may have faced realities they initially didn't want. However, if we've learned anything from this show, it's that these two will persevere no matter what. Lorelai and Rory eventually make up. Rory, after much reflection while away, cuts things off with Dean entirely, and Lorelai begins to accept that Rory is her own person who can make her own choices, and she has to trust that Rory will eventually make the right choice. Their dynamic repairs even if it's no longer the same. While they're not attached to the hip like they were before, they do something else instead. They know they can't travel the same path, but they can travel parallel paths. Lorelai and Rory understand that even at their hardest times, the other will love them, no matter the conflict, no matter the differences. And it's what leads them to trust that they can find common ground. Love is complicated, and it's always hard to be on the same page. But when there's empathy, when there's a reminder that the people you know are coming from a place where they want the best for you and they want to see you happy, you can take the pain you're facing and make it something that you're facing together instead. As the show progresses, we see this repair in their relationship eventually bear fruit. Even with stumbles like, let's say, Rory dropping out of college, Lorelai and Rory support each other while allowing them to be independent people. In the end, we see Rory open herself up to possibilities at the end of her graduation, and we see Lorelai finally happy with Luke. And even though we know they're going to be traveling very different paths, the show decides to show us with them together at Luke's diner. And that's because we know that no matter what, these two are always going to meet each other halfway. As the opening song even suggests, if one of them is out on the road, the other is going to be there on the next train. All they need to do is call their name. Hey guys, Haru here. Gilmore Girls has always been something close to my heart, and this scene never fails to hit me. But what did you think about it? Did this moment change how you saw Rory and Lorelai? Let me know your thoughts below. Until next time, I'll keep scribbling in the margins.